Wrestling is known for its crazy characters, even crazier moments, and its downright over-the-top nature. Of course, that's what we love most about it. Over the years, all sorts of insane moments have taken place. Of course, they don't always go to plan, and in this list, we're counting down some of our favorite crazy moments to ever happen inside and outside of the wrestling ring. So stay seated and keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle as we take you for a ride into our craziest list yet. Number 8. Hell in a Cell. At the King of the Ring pay-per-view on June 28, 1998, in this now iconic moment, Mankind would not only get thrown off the cell, but he would also get chokeslammed through it too. This match is hands down the craziest Hell in a Cell match that has ever taken place, and it went on to become a blueprint for what these types of matches would be. Mankind managed to convince The Undertaker to throw him off the cage, and that spot was planned. However, getting chokeslammed through the roof of the cage and into the ring was not, and the nasty bump would see a chair smash Mankind's face, causing a tooth to be knocked out and get stuck in his nose. Number 7. Attempted Murder. One of the craziest things to happen on a WWF Superstars episode took place on April 25th, 1992, seeing the Berserker attempting to murder The Undertaker, attacking him with his shield before he slaps The Undertaker across the back with his sword. He then takes the sword high above his head and drives it through the ring mat, trying to stab The Undertaker. The sword actually goes through the canvas, with The Undertaker moving out of the way at the last moment. The Berserker would then take The Undertaker outside and pile drive him on the concrete, setting up a crazy feud between the pair. Number 6. An Extreme Crucifixion. At the ECW Arena on October 26, 1996, during the aptly named High Incident event, Raven would go way too far with an angle between himself and the Sandman. After the Sandman's match, Raven's Nest attacked and crucified him, tying him to a wooden cross and putting a crown of barbed wire on his head. This crazy scene angered not just the ECW fans in attendance, but multiple wrestlers backstage, including a young Kurt Angle who was considering signing to ECW at the time, but instead walked out in disgust at the sight of the crucified Sandman. This crazy moment was so controversial, Raven would be forced to make a very out-of-character apology for the incident due to the backlash that ECW received. Number 5. Stuffed in a Casket. On a segment called The Funeral Parlor taking place on the April 13, 1991 episode of WWF Superstars, Paul Bearer would show the Ultimate Warrior a special casket that his Undertaker had made just for the Warrior. While confronting Paul Bearer, the Ultimate Warrior would be jumped from behind by the Undertaker springing from a casket of his own. The Undertaker would then strike the Warrior with Paul Bearer's urn before stuffing him in the special casket. For the next few minutes, WWF officials would frantically try to free the Ultimate Warrior. By the time they get the casket open, the Warrior has ripped the insides of it to shreds trying to escape and passed out, seeing medical staff have to administer CPR to try and revive him on the air. Number 4. A public hanging? At WrestleMania 15 on March 28, 1999, The Undertaker would take on the Big Boss Man in a Hell in a Cell match. The match itself is pretty bad, and we considered it for our previous worst WrestleMania matches of all time list. The finish of this match sees The Undertaker hit a tombstone piledriver on the Big Boss Man and beat him. The dead man isn't done, and he seeks to exact some revenge, seeing stable members of the Ministry of Darkness, the Brood, descend from the rafters and feed a noose through the cell. The Undertaker then puts it around the Boss Man's neck, and Paul Bearer raises the cell, lifting the Big Boss Man up and hanging him in front of the live crowd until he goes motionless in this crazy and over-the-top moment. Number 3. Poisoned by a Cobra? On the November 23rd, 1991 episode of WWF Superstars, Jake the Snake Roberts would bait Macho Man Randy Savage into the ring from commentary, calling him soft and telling him he should borrow Rowdy Piper's skirt. Before Savage could get in the ring, Jake the Snake jumps him and ends up throwing him into the ring and then tangling him in the ropes. Roberts would then unveil a King Cobra from his bag before setting it on the helpless Macho Man's left arm. According to Jake Roberts, this moment played out way longer than was shown on television, as the Cobra wouldn't let go of Randy Savage's arm. The angle sees Savage acting delirious after the bite and stumbling around trying to get back at Jake Roberts as medical staff frantically tried to get him onto a stretcher.
Yeah, but now there's no snake at ringside.
Number 2. He's got a gun! One of the craziest moments in WWF history took place at Monday Night Raw on November 4th, 1996. The now famous incident caused the WWF to almost be thrown off the air after Brian Pillman pulled a gun on Stone Cold Steve Austin during a home invasion angle. This caused angry parents to write in and complain to the USA Network. The pair had started feuding during Steve Austin's feud with Bret Hart to ramp up Steve's credibility. However, at the time, Brian Pillman was healing from a shattered ankle, meaning they had to get a little creative with the storyline. It led to this moment seeing Stone Cold beat up a few of Pillman's friends and then breaking into his house before Pillman would point a gun at Austin live on television. The feed would be cut, but once the feed comes back, Pillman is being restrained, seeing Austin come back and try to attack him again. It's a very, very crazy moment and something we will probably never see on wrestling television again. Number 1. Out of Control Fire Deathmatch. Over in Japan on May 6, 1992, Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling held a no-rope barbed wire fire deathmatch. The matchup sees the head of the FMW, Atsushi Onita, teaming up with Tarzan Goju to take on the Sheik and Sabu. The ring is wrapped in barbed wire with wooden planks attached. These planks are wrapped in towels that are soaked in petrol. FMW used 12 of these, 3 on each side of the ring. When the match starts, the towels are lit on fire, and it only takes a short moment for all 4 wrestlers to realize that the fire is burning way too intensely and eating up all of their oxygen. Immediately, Sabu bails out of the ring and he tries to put out some of the fire with no luck. The other 3 wrestlers thankfully get out of the ring, and the rest of the match, if you can call it that, breaks down into a brawl, seeing Sabu desperately trying to cool off with water in between taking some chair shots. The ring crew fails to put out these fires as the wrestlers brawl and the match gets called off. The ending to this crazy match sees the Sheik throw a vicious fireball into Onita's face before he targets the crowd, throwing a fireball towards them and sending everyone scattering in this wild and crazy scene. Did you enjoy this video? Hit that subscribe button to see more crazy moments like this, and let us know in the comments what your favorite crazy wrestling moments are. And as always, thanks for watching and stay savage, you crazy wrestling fans. Ooh yeah, things are getting a little crazy. Yeah.